We invite all listeners to tune in every Thursday at approximately 7:25 a.m. for TTUTA Speaks, a program which deals with all issues affecting teachers, schools, and the education sector in general. So join us right here on I-95.5 every Thursday morning at 7:25. A blessed Thursday morning to all I-95.5 listeners. This is the segment TTUTA Speaks, and I am your presenter, Patricia Eversley. The segment comes to you with the very kind compliments of M&M Insurance Broking Services Limited, leading in ideas and services. This morning, my guest is the second Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Mrs. Curla Robertson-Thomas. Good morning, Mrs. Robertson-Thomas, and welcome.
Good morning, Patricia, and of course, our loyal listeners.
I understand that TTUTA has a mass demonstration planned for October 1st, 2019. What is the purpose of this march?
Pat, this march was decided by the General Council of TTUTA in an attempt to bring public awareness to the plight of teachers, has arisen out of the claim by the CPU that she is unable to commence negotiations without direction from her principals. The employer cannot and must not be allowed to ignore and treat with contempt the people who have a significant role to play in the development of the nation. On one hand, they cannot speak of children being the most valuable resources of our nation's future, while on the other hand, they are unwilling and appear unprepared to make the appropriate investment in those charged with shaping the future of this valuable resource.
Certainly, this mass action can't be the first attempt to call on the CPU to negotiate.
We have been patient and sensitive to economic times. In November 2015, TTUTA submitted its proposals for the period 2014 to 2017 to the CPU. In March 2017 and June 2017, CPO was written to and reminded of the failure to respond to proposals. That CPO left office, so in September 2018, the new CPO was written to asking what about the commencement of the negotiations. By letter, in October 2018, the CPO responded that counter-proposals were being prepared and input from other stakeholders was being sought to complete this. TTUTA was also asked to produce further information on one of the items in the proposals. We complied with this request. Again, in November 2018, by letter, TTUTA wrote the CPO to express consternation about the delay in starting negotiations. On January 4th, 2019, the CPO convened a meeting. However, her response continued to be that she has had no instruction to commence negotiations. She, however, promised that we would receive a counter proposal within 2 months, and she established subcommittees to begin some groundwork. However, one of those committees has failed to meet, and no counter proposals have materialized. By letter, both in March and May, the CPO was reminded of her failure to produce the counter proposals. By letter dated June 2018, the Minister of Finance was written to asking him to give the necessary instructions to the CPO. He failed to respond to the letter, so in August 2019, the association filed a failure to meet and treat, as well as an industrial relation offence against the CPO.
For the benefit of our members, can you clarify the External Labour Market Survey?
Certainly. The External Labour Market Survey is the process where jobs that can be compared to the work of teachers outside of the teaching service are selected by both parties from a list of agreed comparators from every sector of the economy. Then both parties consider salaries for those jobs. The CPO tends to select at the lower end of the scale, while TTUTA selects at the upper end of the scale. When this data is plotted, if the teachers are found to be below the line, then there is an attempt to close the gap.
Mrs. Robertson-Thomas, do you have any closing comments or remarks?
Members are entitled to quiet enjoyment of their property. In this case, their salaries. We are calling on all to come out and look after their interests. No one can do this for you. Disregard the naysayers and come out in full force on October 1st. Unity is strength, and a house divided will fall. We look forward to seeing you on the streets of Port of Spain on October 1st.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Robertson-Thomas, for joining us this morning on the segment TTUTA Speaks. You have been listening to TTUTA Speaks. You can contact us at president@ttuta.org, that is president@tuta.org, or telephone TTUTA's head office at 645-2134, 645-3825, or 663-2738, or contact Mr. Dudai at 681-8057.